Okay, we are putting in the APEC water filter system. It's got 3 filters. These are the housings. These are the filters. So I think we have first one is a sediment filter, which we probably won't need, but we will put it anyway. And then there's 2 10 micron filters that do chlorine and they're coconut-based carbon block, which is nice, standard, you know, things. Hold on, let me go off that timer. And so these will go in, I think sediment is first. Next we have the water spigot, so that's going to be mounted right here in the sink, so we have to drill a hole there. And then we have the main body. So this is where your filter housings will go on, your water line will come in, there'll be a water drain also because of the ratio of reverse osmosis. I guess it's 1 for 1, I believe. 1 gallon of water to 1, I don't know, something like that. My wife knows all the tips, she'll put it in there. Then we have here's some hardware. So this is again tubing that'll be all attached to that. A couple of wrenches for the water filters. A leak detector. This kit includes a leak detector. Huh. Interesting to see what that's about. And comes with 3 extra filters. And here is the pressure tank. So there's a holding tank for it. Let's see what this thing looks like. And this will hold, I guess, some water so it can filter and recruit. It's a stand for it. And that's the filter. So all of this has to sit under the sink.
Good luck.
We'll see how that works out. Yeah, that's all going to go under there somehow. And our sink is not the biggest, but I think for average sink space, it should be good to go. Mounted on the one side maybe, and then put the tank on the other side. So there we go. We'll check back with you in a few minutes when we start nailing this together. Okay, I'm just going to start figuring out what I need to do first. I believe first is this is the needle valve that's going to pierce our water line. I believe these are probably parts for that. I'm not sure what that is. Looks like a drain valve. And they give you even Teflon tape, which you might want to use. You will have to use, or else you'll have water leaks. So if we look at our instructions, it talks about the RO system must be connected to the cold water supply only. Don't ever connect it to anything else. So let's see what we have here. Here's the needle valve. Comes with the adapters for it. So it's lead free. There's one of the little pieces for it, for sealing, when you put it together. And that, this, and nice little hole, adapter.
Doing a tester?
Yeah, so there's our water tank. This, with the filters on it, will be about over here. So we'll see about mounting it to the wall or just letting it stand on itself. I don't know if we necessarily need to mount everything, because then we can just unplug it, pull it out, and change the filters out here. So let's put on the filters and see where we're at before we plug in the water lines. Instructions are a little bit vague as to I think these adapters you put in line of your water connectors, depending on what you have. So we have that, which is not a 1/2 inch. It's probably this 3/8. So this will screw onto that, and then our, no, that doesn't make sense either, because this can't screw into anything there. So this apparently will screw onto our water, this to here like this to on that thing there like that. So that'll screw in there, and then you'll have your tap screwed into that like this. And then this water line will go out to our filter system. That's all you need, not much.
And your O-ring.
Yeah, well, yeah, your O-ring's in there now, but it will be. So let's unpack this. It's set to filters first. All right, so there's 3 stages to this. There's a sediment, and then there's the 2 filtering ones for all the junk, which we talked about earlier. So these stages start with the 3rd stage first. So our filters are in here. They're going to go on here like this. Actually, this is a little bit, I wonder if this will stick on here. This looks just like the other one. This is not as easy as it is to get this started. But anyway, the thing is in there, then they give you this handy spanner wrench, and you're supposed to open it up as quick as you can. This is horribly awkward and silly. So, I assume right there is pretty good. It's pretty tight. I'll just move more stuff in the way. Okay. So here goes the 2nd filter, which again, this is not much fun to do. It's a nice coarse thread. Basically till it bottoms out. Now you do the 1st stage, which is sediment filter. Oh God, this is not so fun to handle. How fun it's going to be changing these under the sink. I'm going to take the whole unit out every time. So that's the last one. Here. That's pretty tight. Alright, so that's that. Now this should be mounted on the cabinet down there, but I don't think I want to do that. If anything, in the future I'll build a L, screw that to the cabinet, and then put this on there so we don't have to. I don't think the cabinet's strong enough. It's a thin wall, you know, in between here.
Are you just not allowed to set it on the bottom of this?
Yeah,
Or
you can. So we'll
not
just leave
going
it
anywhere,
there.
right?
No. And maybe put I don't know, we'll see. Maybe put one screw in and just leave it so we can just slightly hook it on there. Okay, so now that that's done, and for some reason there must be an oil on the O-rings. So when you go to grab this, it's like ice. Anyway, so we did these. Blah, blah, blah.
What's
Next step is to put together this little system. So this little collar is an extra flare collar for in here, so that you'll stick in your tube, and then when you tighten this down, it flares it out in there. So I'm going to put that up here in this little goodie. But first we have to take this and do our wrap around the fittings so they don't leak. And this is always good stuff to mess with. I'm going to do a small wrap around here. You can see it's closing up the hole, but we'll clean that out. And you want to wrap the tape so when you're tightening it doesn't undo it. And then you just put that in there. You don't have to go crazy tight, but I'll have it over here to the side because this is going to be sitting like this, and then we're going to put this one in here, down here. So I don't think that's right. This one's going to go up here. So this is going to go like this, and then that's going to screw into our cold water. So our cold water is this one here. Doing the Teflon tape again. And we're going to go down here and undo this line here, which I don't even know how to get in there. So this is what we're undoing. That's our cold water. We have a towel real quick. Okay, I'm going to undo this water line, which you'll have water come out. No, that's good. Now I'm going to put this guy on here, which put some tape on that. Cut a little piece. And then we screw this guy on here. Yep. That's what happens when you wrap it the wrong way. It just pushes it down. So I do it the wrong way. And it's a little bit wet on top of it. No, the other way. Ah, this stuff is very fragile. Whoops.
The fun working inside cabinets.
I hate it. That's why I didn't become a plumber. The trick is that this thing's going to be in the right position. So right there. And I don't even think I need the on here. So, if we close this, it Shouldn't be any water coming out. Let's see. Nope. Okay.
Success.
So that part's done. Now, okay, so compression, or the nut, and this is the compression sleeve. This is going to actually do the sealing in there. And then you take this and you put it in that hole till it bottoms out. And you make sure it's still in there. And as I tighten this, it's going to swedge that, or squeeze, compress that fitting. And again, I got to get in there all fight. So we got that hooked up. Next, okay, so next is this drain saddle insulation. It says do not remove the black drain tubing from the RO system if you need. Okay, that's the black one over there on this system. The drain saddle should be installed above the trap and on the vertical or horizontal tailpiece. Okay, so one of those, Reese. So what are we gonna do? Drain trap. So we need to drill a 1/4-inch hole through one side of the drain pipe, then put all self-adhesive back on it. And next line, drain saddle clip tubing connection on the black sponge. This will be this will cushion only gap between the saddle and the pipe. Make sure the hole on the sponge is thoroughly punched out in line with the hole in the saddle. So there's no hole in it. Oh, there it is. It's so clean. My eyes are so horrible. All right, let me get a 1/4-inch drill. All right, so I got a 1/4-inch hole I gotta make in our drain pipe. And I think I'm just gonna do it in this vertical part where the disposal is. So maybe like this, you think? Well, you know what? I should fit that thing. Make sure it's got enough room. This is maybe not for the right diameter pipe, but it will. No, it's good for 1.5 inch. It'll seal it nice. Okay. So we do it above the trap. So I'm going to go right here. Okay, that's done. And now, make sure everything's clean. This is basically your gasket. And of course, there, you can turn that a little bit. All right, that's that. And then we can do this. These two will go over that. I wonder, they have you just line it up over it without the tubing. Saddle clip with the tubing connection port in the back sponge. This will cushion any gap. It's kind of funny that they don't tell you. I guess right there. I wouldn't mind figuring out exactly where that hole is. Hold on, let me do something real quick. I'm just going to get this situated first. And got a little bit of tension on it. But I just want to make sure the alignment of the hole, the drain hole, of this thing is going to be exact. Because who wants this thing leaking? can't even get the nut inside the plastic. Nice. Because I really can't see anything. You want to show me doing this? So put your nuts in, and then just squeeze them in a little bit. They need a little bit of pressure to get in there.
Squeeze your nuts.
Squeeze the nut. Now, I don't like this being in my way all the time, but now just thread your screws through there temporarily. So we have it snug in a second. Like so. And then, oh my goodness, that thing is back. Get out of the way, dude. Still doesn't listen. Alright, so I'm trying to eyeball this.
I gave you that stick down there.
Yeah. So this is going to go. Yep. All right. So right. I'm pretty satisfied with it being right there because this is all the way in the drain. I measure it, right? So that's good. Oops. In the right height area. Now we just need to get a screwdriver and tighten that down. Okay, so this doesn't feel like the tightest, but it doesn't need much, I think, with the cushion in there. Yeah, good enough. Okay, so there, it's nice and tight. We can swivel that whichever way we want. Okay, so this is going to sit in here. I guess we could maybe, that's kind of a bummer because all the fittings are on the other side, right? So it kind of, but that's why we left everything long. So I'm not going to trim any of the hoses. That's the inlet, I assume. This is the drain we just put in. So let's put that in.
It just stays in there?
Yeah, but I think I wanted it to go in the hole in there. So we're going to unscrew this again so we can move it around a little bit. Because they said they want it to go in the hole. Right? So I have an idea. Take that apart so I can just push it through and then bolt it back together. Oh my goodness. So now I can see the tubing and I can put it in our 1/4 inch hole maybe. Maybe have to go
It
more.
doesn't seem like it wants to go in. It doesn't seem like it wants to go in.
No. There it goes. Okay, so it's bottomed out against the pipe inside there. I'm going to pull it back just a little bit because I know it's hitting the back side of the tube and I don't want it to get jammed up so water doesn't go. So I'm going to pull it back just a tiny bit. Now I'm just going to release this pin or the tube and just pull it back just a little bit there. And so now I know that it's not touching the back wall, it's just going to drain right in there. So where do you want this?
Yep, that's fine.
Well, maybe, so if we get a water bottle or whatever. Right there.
Mm-hmm. Want a Sharpie?
It's a walk-in. Are you filming this?
Mm-hmm.
So you start off small and just step them up. I don't have a 1/2-inch hole saw, which would be silly, but anyway, now I just go up a little bit more. And then I go up a little bit more. Do that with the big 1/2-inch in there, you're not going to probably buckle the steel and everything. So let's see. And always wear safety glasses, kids, which I didn't do at all. And get most of this metal out of here. I think that screws in there. Or doesn't it? No. So this is going to go like this. Nice hole. Now I have to go underneath with this guy and put all that fun stuff in there. So it looks like this thing first, and here's some more compression fittings for it, and so it's going to be locating washer and then lock washer and nut. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to get up under there and put my body underneath. Oh, see, my arm's stuck. Oh God, I'll never, ever, if I have to, become a plumber.
Do you need me to hold it still?
No. Hold on. Is that facing anyway the right way?
No, it's facing away.
Which way?
There we go.
I think I've cracked my back. I think I got cervical problems.
You don't want to be a plumber?
All right, tubing. Attach the faucet adapter, connect the clear line to the faucet. So here's our clear line. And that's attached. It's going to come over here somewhere. I'll hook this out like this. Metal compression fitting. Okay, we're not doing that for this one. Connect the clear. So we just did that. That's all done. Don't need to do this one because it doesn't have that to position in the system. Main system can stand in the sink cabinet. No need to mount the system. If you prefer to mount it, you can. The tank. The tank can lay on its side if needed. The tank works fine in this position if the tank cannot fit under the sink. You place 20 feet away from the RO system, which we're not going to do. Okay, I'm taking off the caps that they say to take off. There's one here and one here. You just use it, these quick disconnect fittings. And then it says to disconnect, let's see, to disconnect end plugs, push and hold to connect the tubing, push the tubing all the way to the quick disconnect. Okay, so yeah. But I'm not sure exactly what they want to do. They want to, I'm not pulling that out, I'm keeping that in there. Summary of tubing connections, point A. Alright, we're doing the tank valve. Put a little bit of junk on there, whoops. And then you just screw this sucker on there until it's tight. It looks like it needs to go all the way down. I think that's good. So that's good. So, okay, and then we're going to do, the black one is already hooked up, which goes into the waste, and then the yellow one's going to go from here. Yellow goes G to Y. So this goes from there to this tank. So I think the tank we said we were going to put over here. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So the tank, there you go.
Here, you want to put this under it since you're getting it
You want that in there?
set up? If it needs it.
It's got 4 feet under there. Then we run this behind everything along that other one. And we plug this into the water tank. It stays there. Slack. Flip that out of the way. And that'll be held in by that hot water line. And then we have to, I guess, cut a piece of the red and make it go into the leak detector. Kind of an odd little thing, I'm not sure what exactly that does. Like a mousetrap. So apparently this leak detector is in line with the okay, so there's a leak detector that goes in there, and I'm wondering how in the world does this thing work? Well, in here, this is a tablet. You put this tablet in here, and you put it in there, and then this is a shutoff valve. So right now, it's closed. So this is in. If I blow in there, nothing. if I put this down, so what the deal is with this thing is you flip that over, you lock that in there like a mouse trap, and apparently when this thing expands, it's going to drive, actually it probably has to be upside down. I don't even know, I figured it goes this way, but because the pressure would have to blow that. Anyway, the instructions, yeah, so the cap is on top, the piece that'll expand is on the bottom, and so when you put this down like this, you screw this to your floor in there, and if that thing starts leaking, water will come around here, it'll pressurize, or this tablet will expand and blow this top and automatically shut off the valve.
Oh, nice.
I was like, pretty cool, but do we need it? So here's our inlet. Simple, click, it's in there, it's tight. Just gonna check all my things, they're all tight, right? Everything's connected. Slide this thing in here, tuck some tubes up, and out of the way. Give it a little bit of expand. Look at this thing, so tight in here. Oops. Anyway, that's going to be right there, I guess. Kind of. That way. There we go. So I'm going to have to see the air tank. So that's that. Are you ready?
Are we going to turn it on?
Yes. And we'll have to inspect for leaks. So here it goes. Turning on our water. If I can even. There. Seems like that thing's leaking a little bit. Bit of water, residual maybe. Anyway, listen.
I hear it. It's going into the filters.
Yep, I'm gonna open it.
Oh my gosh.
I hope this needle valve stops. Tank to fill. Tank normally takes 2 to 3 hours to fill.
Okay.
2 to 3 hours, so I don't know.
Do we have to like let the water come out? You know how you have to do that with other filters?
Clean up area. Check for leaks. Congratulations, you have installed your system.
Woohoo! So I have to wait 3 hours to have a glass of water?
Yep.
Okay. We still have room in there. We can put a couple things.
It doesn't say anything about, you should be able to drink water right away. So city water replace every. We do have a little, oh, are you kidding me? That's the hot water. Son of a bitch. I hooked it all up to the hot water.
Oh no!
So dumb. All right, let me take a second. Can I have my tools?
Yes.
Maybe. I'll just loosen this a little bit. Twist the wire. Untwist this.
Are we still going to be able to pull the filter thingy out?
We got water pressure in that thing. So that's not leaking. Right. Okay. Oh, the wire's silly now.
Quick fix.
Yeah.
So So now it's redone onto the cold line.
Dry everything. Open that. Open that. That's better. Nope, no leak down there. Let's see. Where's that leaking from? Yep, right out of that damn fitting that they gave us. Oh, that's not gonna be the story of our lives here. Nope, still leaking.
So one of the fittings is leaking. We'll have to figure that out. So what was it?
I think because I forgot to put this O-ring in here. Can I have a pick or something? You got that wooden?
Yeah.
Put it in too crooked. I forgot this O-ring with the dum-dum. So now I gotta.
Redo.
I forgot to put the O-ring inside here, so now it's in there, and it shouldn't leak anymore. Which it's not. Turn this thing on again. Okay, I don't see any leaks. Anybody see any leaks?
No, honey, no leaks.
Yep, and there's some moisture under there, I don't know. It's just cold. And water. Okay, I think everything's pretty much dry back here.
Now you can congratulate yourself.
I guess. Man, it is pretty easy, but it's just the confines of this area aren't fun, right? Sitting here like this is awkward. I don't see other leaks from our hot water. And I hear the mechanism doing its little talk. Oh, you can see water flowing through there. Air. See that? You see little bubbles rolling through there on this tube, right here. Right there. And that's tube right.
It's hard to get.
Anyway. Alright, we'll look in about 20-30 minutes to see if there's any other water issues. We should. Okay, it's all installed. System is pressurized. It said a couple of hours to get it up, but it's pushing water, so let's see what we get here. It looks pretty clear.
How does it taste?
It smells like nothing. Tastes pretty clean. Yeah, I guess better than tap water.
Cheers.
You're the one with the sensitive buds.
It's
Is
good.
it? I don't know.
Tastes very good.
Yeah. I'm not that sensitive, so.
I don't taste chlorine or
You know?
anything. Yeah.
Do you taste it out of that filter? Let's try this filter now. So this is the fridge one we have. I just changed this filter. Taste this.
Okay. Taste test.
Taste this. Difference?
No.
A little bit of difference.
Which one's better?
Mm,
Yeah. This one tastes
a little bit.
A little bit more.
I don't know.
I don't.
Stale-ish.
Well, it needs to filter a little bit, but
Yeah.
all right. It's
That's
a
great.
success. Thank you.
Now time for some Jim Beam.